Hello, and thank you for taking part in this digital drop-in from Google and Parent Zone. My name's Chelsea, and we have our online expert Cal in the chat box too. Now, we'd love you to share your name and maybe where you're watching from, so please do introduce yourself in the chat box. Don't be shy. Now, Cal and I are part of a team in charge of Be Internet Legends. Now, this is a program designed by Google and Parent Zone to help children aged 7 to 11 become savvier and safer, more confident explorers online. Now, over the last few weeks, we've been asking parents to suggest topics on what they'd like to cover in our digital drop-ins, and cyberbullying was one of the top answers. So that's what we're going to talk about today. Now, this chat is designed for all families, so perhaps it's just finding out a little bit more about bullying and approaches to help prevent it. But we're also going to share some practical advice if you are worried. We're going to be taking a 360-degree look at bullying and think about ways in which Be Internet Legends can help support your child and how we're teaching children about it. Now, if you do have an immediate problem with bullying and you need some really specific support, please email us at legends@parentzone.org.uk. So that's legends@parentzone.org.uk, and somebody will get back to you as soon as they can. Now, we want to make the next 20 minutes as useful and as practical as we can make them. Now, we know that some of the best ideas are going to come from you, sharing parent to parent. So please pop any questions or ideas or suggestions in the chat box as we go along. What we really want to do is make sure everybody leaves this session with one or two things that'll help them deal with such a tricky subject. Now, before we move on, I just want to check that everybody can see me. Now, if the picture's a little bit blurry, I recommend pressing refresh on your browser. Or then, if you're on a computer or a tablet or a phone, there'll be a little cog in the bottom right hand of your screen. So just click on that and you can change your settings there by clicking quality. And don't worry about missing stuff because you can always watch this back later. Now, like I said, Cal and I are part of a team that has been teaching an internet safety program called Be Internet Legends in primary schools for almost 4 years now. Now, some of you might have heard this about it from your children, but don't worry if you haven't. Now, we deliver really fun interactive assemblies like the photos on the screen now, and then teachers follow up with lessons that are based part of a full curriculum program. And throughout the pandemic, we've been supporting schools and families from afar using the power of technology. Now, Be Internet Legends teaches children 5 really important internet safety pillars. Now, it's a mixture of skills and behaviours that cover the most important things that your children need to remember when they go online. So that includes being sharp, alert, secure, kind, and brave. Now, if you want to find out more about the 5 pillars, do check out Google's parent page. Carl's going to pop a link for that in the chat box. And we also run sessions that cover the whole of the Be Internet Legends programme, and we'd love you to join one of those. Now, you can find out when they're going to be by checking the Parent Zone website, and once again, Carl's going to pop a link for that in the chat box, and do feel free to share that link with your other parent friends and family members too. Now, Be Internet Legends covers much more than cyberbullying, but that is what we're going to concentrate on today. I'm going to explain what we teach children about bullying so you can apply the same approaches with your children at home if you decide that's useful. And this approach isn't just appropriate for a child who's experiencing bullying, although we do have some tips if that's the case. It's about making sure children don't experience it. Now, there are 3 pillars in the Be Internet Legends Code which are super important when we're thinking about cyberbullying, and those are secure, kind, and brave. So those are the ones that I'm going to focus on today. But before I do that, I'm going to have a little look in the chat box. Let me see what we've got in there. Hello, Gemma in Hampshire. We've also got the Edwards in Yorkshire. Hello there. Fab. Jess in London. Welcome to our session. We've also got a David in London and Jen from Stratford. So thank you so much, everyone, for joining us. Like I say, if you've got any questions at any point, pop it in the chat box, or if you want to share your top tips or suggestions, please just pop them in there and I'll share them as we go along. So, what is cyberbullying and how might it happen? First off, it's really easy to worry about cyberbullying and the possibility that your child might be being picked on without you knowing. However, as parents, you'll be really used to looking out for the signs in your children that something's troubling them, so chances are you'll spot something pretty quickly. Now, what's important is that you consider that bullying might be the problem. Now, there's no legal definition of bullying, but what we generally mean is behaviour that's sustained and it's intended to hurt somebody physically and or emotionally. Now, of course, bullying is a really, really serious concern for parents, and data from bullying charity called Ditch the Label UK suggests that up to a fifth of children experience it. But what's really important to know is that those figures come from secondary schools, so bullying in secondary schools. And that's often where the problem starts. So, Be Internet Legends is purposefully in primary schools to try and prevent cyberbullying from happening in the first place. Now, when we think about cyberbullying, it's really important to remember that the internet can amplify things, good things and bad things. And if a child is experiencing bullying, it's likely to include both online and offline elements. It's equally important to remember that the internet could be helping them to cope with the bullying. So maybe they use the internet to switch off, or maybe they have friends with online who maybe they game with. And for some children, online friendships can be a lot easier than offline friendships. Now, the most important thing is to approach the topic with a really open mind and an understanding of how complex it can be. So, what can you do if you're worried, and what can we do to prevent it? Now, the first and most important thing that your child needs to do, and this is something we talk about a lot in Be Internet Legends, is be brave and ask for help. And this is often the most difficult part for a child. Now, you'll already have some tips and tricks up your sleeve when it comes to getting your children to open up to you. So if you've got any really tried and tested methods, please pop them in the chat box. Now, we've got a few tips of our own that we'll share with you now. Now, the first one is to tell them what you're seeing. So you could say, "You look really sad. Is there anything I can do to help?" Another technique is to try and distance the problem. So don't just focus on them, you're speaking about it more in general terms. So perhaps you could say something like, I'm worried that maybe some bullying's happening. Have you talked about this in school? And perhaps it's not them being bullied, but they do have questions about it, or maybe they might be worried about one of their friends. Now, another approach is to tackle the conversation when they don't feel under pressure. So it could be maybe on your drive to school, or maybe when you're cooking together or playing together. So it's giving your child something else to focus on so the conversation isn't too intense. Now, helping a child be brave enough to ask for help can be really difficult. So you could try using Be Internet Legends itself. So maybe you could say to your child, I've been reading about Be Internet Legends and all the different pillars, and being brave is my absolute favourite. I really hope you'd talk to me if you had a problem or if anything worried you. Now, do keep adding thoughts. In fact, I'm going to look to see if anyone's got any thoughts. Oh, we've got hello. Oh, fab, yeah, we've just got, any questions, don't hesitate to ask, and do share the link with your friends as well. But yeah, if anybody has any tips, it might be something that's worked for them, pop them in that chat box because I will share them as well. Now, once your child's opened up to a conversation about bullying, now this could be whether they're the bully, they're in trouble for being the bully, or maybe they're on the receiving end, or perhaps they just have questions about it. What can you do? Now, the Be Internet Legends code gives children lots of things they can do. Now, children often feel powerless when they're experiencing bullying, or maybe they're seeing it in their friendship groups. So it can be really powerful to come up with a plan together and remind them that there are always steps that they can take. So we're going to have a bit of a more look of what these steps are. Now, first, they'll start with the things that they've learnt in the secure pillar of Be Internet Legends. Now, we teach children about blocking and reporting. So using the block and report tools in apps or on services or websites can stop bullies contacting their victims. And people can't tell if they've been blocked or don't know who's reported them. So it's really useful to remind your child of this so they know they can use these tools confidently and without worrying someone. And they can also report to other people too. Now, your child's school might have an anti-bullying policy. So if something's really troubling is happening, it's always worth involving the school. Now, of course, their practical steps are only the starting process of dealing with bullying. Now, the final pillar of the Be Internet Legends programme is really useful here, and that's being internet kind. So we always tell children that internet legends know how to respect each other. Now, this part of the code is one where we want children to share positive information and making your online world a place where you really want to be. Now, it's a really important way that we can help prevent bullying. Now, for a child who's experiencing bullying, it can be really hard for them to find spaces that make them happy and are able to connect with other people. But there are some ways you can help with this. Now, this can be as simple as spending some time with them, finding things that they enjoy doing online. So perhaps it's listening to music together or maybe watching funny cat videos. It's helping them to find their tribe and move away from any people who are being unkind to them online. Now, it can be tempting to tell children to stop using their favourite apps or use their favourite websites or platforms if they are experiencing cyberbullying, but this can often sometimes feel like a punishment. So, finding things that make them happy can be a much more effective way to go. And there are other ways that you can help your children have a positive experience online. Now, you probably encourage them already not to give bullies an audience, but it's worth explaining that some people act badly to get attention online, just like they do in the real world. And either way, it's likely to stop if you ignore them. And reminding children not to, like really simple rules, not to like posts that are unkind, even if the intention of that post was to be funny, will help them develop really kind online friendship groups. Now, it can be really tricky for children to manage friendship groups online and off. Now, without facial expressions or the change in tone in somebody's voice, a message can be read in loads of different ways and it can be easily misunderstood. And even really good friendship groups can have some super bumpy moments. That's why we tell children how important it is to be kind. Now, we teach children to read things out loud or say it out loud before they post and use emojis to make sure that their messages are extra clear. Now, these are just a few simple tips and techniques that make your child's online world a bit more fun. Now, you might have some more tips or tricks or techniques, so if you do, pop them in the chat box. Now, we know the internet's a really complicated place for a child to navigate, and bullying's just one of the tricky things they might have to deal with. Maybe your child's experiencing it themselves, or maybe they want to support a friend, or perhaps they just want to know how it can be avoided. Now, whatever your concern is about cyberbullying, I hope this session's given you one or two things to help. And remember, if you have a problem, do get in touch. Now, Carl's popping our email address in the chat box now, so let us know if you've got any problems and somebody will get back to you. Now, Be Internet Legends is all about giving children the skills and behaviours that they need so that problems can be avoided, but if they do happen, they know how to get help. Now, talking about Be Internet Legends, there is so much more of it out there. Now, if you found this useful or interesting, why not come to another one of our digital drop-ins? We're doing them throughout the term, and we're covering topics such as cyberbullying like today to sharing information carefully. Now, Carl's going to put the link for these in the chat box with the timetable of all the different sessions, and do feel free to share that link with your friends and family so that they can join the digital drop-ins too. Now, we've also got a really exciting resource for you. So Google, Parent Zone and Aardman are inviting you to embark on the Legends Family Adventure. Now, this is a 3-part animated series which follows a family of internauts on an adventure through Interland. And you can also take part in the Legends Family Challenge with an opportunity to win some really exciting prizes for your child's school. Now, this is launching soon and I'm really excited about it. So do keep your eyes peeled for the launch of that. Now, Parent Zone's Parent Hub has loads of free, fun activities that families can do together. So there's something for every pillar of the Legends Code, from kinder meters to password poetry. If you sign up for the newsletter, we'll make sure you hear about any new ones too. Now, Carl's popping a link for that in the chat box as I speak now. And finally, have you played Interland? Now, it's a fab online game filled with challenges based on the Legends Code. Children absolutely love it and they're really good at it too. Now, why not have a little competition in your household? See who can get the high score. Good luck with that, and good luck if you play Mindful Mountain, because I am completely hopeless at it. Once again, Carl's going to pop a link in the chat box for that. Now, just before I go, I'm going to have a little look in the chat box, see if there's anything there. Oh, Martin, thanks for running these sessions. I am promoting these to the parents at my school. Yep, great. Thank you so much. Please spread the word. If you are a teacher or you know other parents, let them know about our sessions, because we'd love to spread the word of the Internet Legends to everybody. And oh, Cal in the chat box has said, if you're having an Interland competition, maybe the loser does the dishes. So person with the lowest score does the dishes. And if we was playing Mindful Mountain, that would definitely be me doing the dishes. Now, Callum's going to share a link to a quick online survey. Now, this will take about 30 seconds and it'd be really useful if you could fill that in for us. It just helps us to know what you thought of this digital drop-in, if there's anything you'd like us to cover, anything else, and any ways we can improve it. And don't hesitate to get in touch with us via Instagram or email. We've got the details of that on the screen now. We'd love to hear how you find Interland. Maybe share with us some of your password poetry. So do keep in touch with us. We always love to hear from parents and families. And remember, there is no such thing as a bad question. I think that's everything from me now. Thank you so much for joining us for our very first digital drop-in, and see you all soon. Bye. Oh, I'm still here. Bye.